Hi, everyone. Welcome to the, I would say, May 14th TweetMeet webinar that we organize on behalf of Microsoft. You're so welcome today. We have several presentations lined up for you, and our presenters can't wait to start their sessions, so I'm going to head it over straight away. I know we have several people joining us today who are new for us, and so we're excited to hear from you, what you like, what you don't like about everything that we're doing, and we look forward to engaging with you more because we have several Arabic-speaking visitors today. I'm kindly asking Laila and Heba to assist if they have any questions written in Arabic and to respond to those. If you want to use the reactions feature, by all means, go ahead. And on that note, I'd like to start my presentation for today, and that is just this starter slide that we prepared to announce the presentation, and of course, an overview of the presentations for today. I'm noticing that Lars Ruud hasn't made it to this call yet, so we'll skip his presentation, and if he joins later on, we'll introduce him then. So on that note, I'd like to invite Walberto Flores from El Salvador to start his presentation about learning together. So if you want to, Walberto, go ahead, share your screen, and we're looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Marjolein. I'm going to. Maybe I'm going to make like a short mistake because my presentation is not exactly here. I'm just going to skip. Don't see, please close your eyes. Thank you so much because this is going to be presented later.
No problem. No problem.
Okay. Here. What the? Let's see. Next. It's just like a short trailer. So if you want to know about a little bit more, Melissa is going to explain us later. Here we are. Okay, thank you. My name is Walberto Flores. I'm from El Salvador. English is my second language, so I ask for forgive me if I make any mistake. But what we share as a teacher is this passion to learn and keep learning and help learning others. So why we consider that the presentation is learning together, because every time that we try to teach something, we are learning something. And if we are not open to that idea, we are like missing the half of this reality. Because as we know, when we teach something, that's like the real moment when we realize that we really have learned something. So learning is not just about knowledge or technology. That's something that we have experienced in a very particular way with these 2 years before. It's about relationships. And when we are talking about relationship, motivation and feedback are something really important. I want to show you, I know that maybe not everyone here is using these 2 tools related to Microsoft. Maybe someone, other educator, use other solution, and it's fine. But what I want to present with you, it's an idea. Learning together is about something connected with motivation and feedback. And a way to do this using Microsoft tool is praise. Is that correct? Praise, that word is always making me think of that. Okay, great. And what I have seen in these years using this, I mean, like 1 year, is that when you really want to do a real feedback, and you are really you have to be honest with that person. This tool, Price, what it does, as you know, is you can select an icon, a message, for example, in the picture is also, and you write a note for that person. In this case, Ana Patricia Velar is our technology teacher from primary school, and she has been learning a lot. And that's something that I consider awesome. So I write quite a note for her. But the real magic with this tool is what it does is make you easier to give you like a badge or a prize, as the name, and share what you think about. Usually good things, good thoughts about. But when the magic here is when you see the reaction from the other people. I want to share something more personal, but I think it's going to be fine because it was without names. But when I have been honest with some people that I really admire for their work, or they are passing a hard time, and I shared using this tool, and I write a honest message to these people, some people have came back to me and tell me, you have made me cry, but for a good reason, because the word that you shared with me had make my day. So feedback and motivation with this tool is something that is really easy with just some clicks. But what makes the difference is when you are honest with that people and you share something that you really believe. Other ones is connected to Reflect, something quite new, and have in Microsoft had add some new stuff like some characters with different colors. It's, you could think that it's more oriented to kids, but we have been using even with our teacher, because as we know and as we have experienced, the way as we feel, it's something that we translate to our teacher, to our students, sorry. So we asked to our teacher, how do they feel? To know if there is something we need to talk about something, or how is the overall feeling in the school. So Reflect is the other way to hear how they feel, not just the student, even teacher. So this is two tools that I consider that could be really helpful in the way of learning together. Thank you.
Okay, I need to pay $1 or something now because I started to talk without enabling my microphone first. That's really a lovely story, Walberto, especially also because you use these tools with colleagues, not just with students. So awesome. Thank you so much. Next on my list, so let me share my screen again so that you can see it. Next on my list is Melissa Schroeder-Hribal. I never asked you, Melissa, if I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, because in German it's Schroeder.
Schroeder-Hribal. The H is silent.
Ah, okay, Schroeder. Okay. So you're next, Melissa, and your session is about feedback and motivation in OneNote. Good luck.
Melissa, would you like that I share the screen just to help you?
I sure would, Walberto. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, I will.
Thank you. And thank you for showing the trailer. Just while we're waiting, I am Melissa Schroeder-Hribal. I am from Ontario, Canada, and I teach primary school. Every year, I start with OneNote. And OneNote is my main platform, and we spend a long time modeling, sharing. We don't give students access to their own OneNote until about October, because it's really important that they experience it, all of OneNote, from just modeling, looking, exploring a little bit, and then when they get their access to OneNote, then they're already familiar with it. So I'm going to talk about how we use feedback in OneNote, and how we also hand in hand can use OneNote to motivate our students. That feedback is also motivating for our students. So can you please go to the next slide, Walberto? Thank you. So I'm going to pay some particular attention to the primary lens in OneNote. Sometimes I hear, oh, students in primary can't use this digital tool. Oh no, my students are far too young. No, they're not. Yes, they can. That is what we have discovered. If you chunk, if you scaffold, if you spend the time ahead of time modeling, if you throw them right into it, absolutely, it's too much. But if you give them that time to get used to it, it can be incredibly successful. A little bit of a backstory here. May the 4th was, of course, Star Wars Day at our school, and everyone came to school dressed in Star Wars. It's a really big day. So, of course, their writing prompt that day was, would you choose the dark side or would you choose the light side? I have about 2/3 of my class that use paper pencil, and about 1/3 of my class that uses OneNote, and they use speech to text. They came to me from grade 1, struggling, not able to put together cohesive thoughts and sentences, just kind of some words here and there. And all of a sudden, when they have access to those accessibility tools, the voice to text, they are able to, their world opens because they can communicate what's up here. They just weren't able to before because they had the pencil, and the pencil wasn't the right tool for them. So tools like Microsoft's OneNote, it levels the playing field. It makes them feel just like that person beside them using the pencil. In my room, no one's like, oh, that person's on OneNote, oh, that person's using pencil. We're all the same. Just like someone who needs glasses gets glasses, the people who need OneNote, they use OneNote. So while my student was writing, I was able to pop into his OneNote in real time. And that's the beauty of OneNote, is you can have that real-time connection. So every time I pop into OneNote to one of my students, it's almost like they're having that teacher-student conference right then, right there. They might be sitting beside me, they might be on the other side of the room from me. And I use OneNote even though I'm not remote anymore. This is in-person learning that we're talking about. So this student in particular has a hard time sharing sometimes, so I gave him a sticker. Oh my goodness, that sticker blew his mind. He's like, Miss Hribal just sent me a sticker. And the person beside him was like, oh, how did you get that sticker? And all of a sudden, every single time you start hearing, can you go into my OneNote? Can you check out my work? What do I still need to do? It's infectious. So instead of those papers that sit on your desk that you have to grade that night when the students are gone, you can start giving that feedback right away in real time. And this stickers are a huge deal, obviously, in primary. You have the option of writing on stickers, just kind of like Walberto was saying in the Reflect app, and in the Praise tool, you can write comments, right? And then on the right-hand side here, you can see that it's kind of tiny. Another prompt was share some jokes in OneNote. And then I was able to annotate right on top of the page. So again, that it's so immediate. It's I prefer annotating in OneNote versus pencil paper on some papers that my students write, because it's more effective, I find, because it's right away. It's in the moment. It's not 2 hours later. It's not, I struggle with giving feedback. You know, we all have those piles of papers that we still have to mark. This way, it's done. The students know what to do right away. Walberto, can you please go to the next slide? Thank you. So stickers are a big deal. They motivate in OneNote, and I cannot even have begun to imagine what a difference the pens would make. Again, early primary lens here, so I'm not talking about grade 7, grade 12. By those grades, this is old school. But when the students get to see how many different pen options, that motivates, that engages, that makes them want to say, you know what, we had some trouble with OneNote yesterday, but we're going to try it again because today I want to use a different pen. Getting those students to come up to the board and saying, okay, I get to choose the pen today. Such a small deal, but a big deal to them. And then I really like posting our anchor charts right into the OneNote, because that also enables the students to know exactly what I'm looking for. So we all have those students that have a hard time looking up from their desk to the board, from the desk to the board, or they couldn't be bothered looking for that anchor chart in the classroom. When I give a writing assignment, I post that success criteria right above where they're going to be writing. So now there's no more excuses. Oh, I didn't know I had to use periods or capitals, because again, it's almost like their own bulletin board built within OneNote. And lastly here, OneNote also offers amazing graphic organizers built right within the photos search option. So the Venn diagram I put in here, I didn't have to search for that. It came right from within OneNote, and it just copies and pastes beautifully. You can make it bigger, smaller. So here we had a student, we did whole group. So the student was able to follow along whole group, and then I released them. The responsibility was on them, and I had them just squiggle a red line. I said, anything underneath that red line are your ideas. And you can see, this is, again, I'm not choosing students that are high achieving. These are students that need the access to OneNote, and you can see how much supporting detail they gave. Okay, one more slide, Walberto.
I have one. Can I ask one question?
Of course.
You said anchor chart. You're using an anchor chart, right? Is that the terminology that you're using, or what was the what is is that a chart that lists what is expected
Exactly,
of a
yeah. So we have anchor charts for just about everything. Absolutely.
Awesome, thank you.
And OneNote offers that opportunity to really connect with our students for the social emotional learning. Of course, you have praise, you have reflect, and this is just a different way to offer that social connection, that well-being check-in. So we started our year off by reading "How are you peeling?" instead of "How are you feeling?" And then every day, the students became so used to this, they would see this graphic organizer. And I love how easily any images, any of those visually stimulating images just embed into OneNote. And here we had a student reflect that they're feeling not just sad, but really sad. So I was able to provide that feedback right away. And that told me that at some point during the day, I needed to make time to check in with that student to see if I could help them, if they needed any extra supports, or why they were feeling sad. So that gives me some insight into their feelings, their mental health, what they might need, and what I can offer. And then, of course, encouraging stickers. You've got this. That's sometimes all the student needs, is to know that we're listening, we're here for them, and we believe in them, we connect with them, and that relationship building. And OneNote offers that potential to really hone into that one-on-one relationship, that connection, and that rapport. And that's why I love using OneNote in primary. Thank you.
Wow. This is definitely a session I would want to watch back. If I'm using OneNote if I would be using OneNote in education, then I definitely would want to watch this back and share this with others. This is so insightful and even just fun, right? You're using many very colorful aspects of OneNote and the pens and everything. You really take benefit of everything. Thank you so much for this, Melissa.
Thank you.
Awesome. Let me share my screen so that you can see who's next, because we have now a group of presenters. And those are Jérôme Nogues from the UK, Katrina Fossella from the US, and Sharon Lightfoot from Scotland. So if you want, go ahead, unmute your microphone and share your screen, and then we look forward to your session called Effective Tech Tools for Feedback and Motivation using Microsoft Teams, OneNote, and Minecraft Education Edition. Good luck.
Thank you. It's all right if we change the order slightly depending on our slides. Is that okay?
Totally, totally.
Fantastic. Okay, can I just check, can you all see that okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. So if it's all right, guys, I'll begin. So my name is Sharon Lightfoot, and like you, Melissa, I'm a primary educator in Scotland, and my children are mostly 7, some 6, some 8. And like you, I would like to talk about OneNote and Flipgrid, with whom I am absolutely in love with. And I feel so inspired, Melissa, after listening to your journey, because my journey, as you'll see, is probably way before your journey. And I hope that my journey would lead on to where your journey is. So thank you so much for that, Melissa. Okay, I'll just scroll on. Okay, so personally for me, although I've been immersed in technology for many, many years, OneNote for me was a technology tool that I picked up and dropped and picked up and dropped and picked up and dropped because it's syncing issues, and but I heard so many people using it and it was so useful, and I thought, okay, this is it. This is the year that not only am I going to become familiar with OneNote and use it and persevere, but I'm going to get my wee children involved with using OneNote too. And like you said, Melissa, some of my children are only 6, and 100% they are able to use a tech tool like Flipgrid and OneNote. So the wee image that you can see on the left there, this is just a typical page from my writing daughters. And again, this was a very onerous task for me after their writing, big piles of writing daughters. That's an example there of their success criteria. Big pile on my desk after school, taking it home. It would go to the bottom of my pile. It would really be a big job every single week. And I thought, okay, now that my children are familiar with OneNote, I think we could do more here. So the first thing I did, and I thought I was absolutely amazing, and the children loved it. You can maybe see down the side. So this is actually an image from one of their OneNotes. I uploaded a picture of their writing so that they could see this at home. And to begin with, I added, you can see the audio icon at the bottom. So I added audio feedback. Now, for me, I just thought I was the best thing ever, getting the children's work into OneNote and letting them see their work at home and giving them audio feedback. And they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And like all us educators, I thought, what more can I do? Now, my children are absolutely obsessed with Flipgrids, and we do a Flipgrid for homework every single week. So I thought, okay, let's use that tool and see what we can do. So I came up with the idea of me making a Flipgrid short and embedding that into the OneNote and giving them feedback that way. Again, I'm patting myself on the back and thinking, you're doing amazing, this is so good. And the children absolutely loved that. That was so much easier for me and so more motivating for me personally to sit at home in my happy place with my laptop and, make the children a wee video. I could really get across the points that I wanted to work with, for them to work on, much easier than just writing things down. And in any case, some of my children struggled to read the writing that I'd written down. So I thought, I'm doing amazing. Now I'm using Flipgrid, also putting that into the OneNote that the children can now watch their feedback. But again, like all good educators, I'm thinking, okay, is there anything that I can do to make this better? So transitioning into the last images here, last week, I thought, why don't I give it a try straight after the children have written and do the feedback with them and video that? And I thought that's going to be fabulous. Again, that's going to be so much better. This for me was a real eye-opener, and it's something that I've started and I won't be stopping it. What I found when I did the feedback with the children, so as well as videoing it, I was able to ask them questions to check their understanding. And for me, that was massive, being able to do that with them. For example, on a success criteria, if it says, something like use, write in the past tense, I said, okay, do you feel you have written in the past tense today? I was very surprised that 1 or 2 children said, I don't know what that means. And I was thinking, okay, I thought I had went over all that and they had an understanding. But from doing this video feedback with them, it really opened my eyes to the fact that actually, I think this is definitely the way for me to go, is to do this feedback with them and have a chat with them. So the error that I made is that I did it in Flipgrid Shorts, and the video cut out after, obviously by its very name, Flipgrid Shorts, it's to be short. The video wasn't long enough, so I'll have to address that a wee bit. But that was, I felt, so from the beginning to what I started a wee audio file to what I'm doing now, giving audio feedback to children, video feedback with them, then embedding that into the OneNote, I feel that children really benefit from that. But I didn't want to take my word for it, so I asked them. So if I just go into the next slide. So I thought, okay, I'm leaving myself wide open here, but I'm going to go for this because I'm thinking that this is amazing for the children, what I'm doing, but what did they think? So for the children who got the wee video that you can see on the left there, the giraffe, the Pele and me, these were the children that got a video just with me at home. So I said, well, what do you like this? Is it good for you? And this wee boy says, I know what I'm doing, it's better. I like it, I don't have to read it. For me, that was a huge advantage. And the wee bottom one there, the wee girl says, I get a nice surprise when I hear how good it was. It's easier looking at the video. And that's a wonderful thing about videos, that you can actually convey the emotion that you feel. You know, you can do things like put your thumbs up, I really liked what you did, and give them some, you know, positive body language. So that was great. Then the wee bubbles on the right hand side, or just in the middle there, the kind of light blue ones. This is the feedback from the children who had video feedback with me. So one wee girl says, I like to watch my feedback to remind me of what you've said to me, and I can easily get into OneNote at home too. That just warmed my heart, because I know that children are confident using this tool at home. Another wee boy says, I like that we were both there and I know what's going into my video. And that gave me a wee insight into maybe children are a bit worried maybe about what I was going to say on the video. So the fact that I was there with them and having that discussion, they knew exactly what was going in their OneNote. The wee purple bubble in the middle, check for understanding. So that's my feedback on the feedback that I'm giving the children, checking for their understanding. I thought that for me, that's one of the best parts about it, actually discussing with them about their work and getting that all on camera that the children can watch at home with their families. So just to the right, the Flipgrid videos embedded into OneNote have, for me, huge advantages. Pupils can see the feedback anytime, anywhere, and that takes the writing jotters home now to their families, where they can see their writing and also hear the teacher giving feedback as to what they need to work on. It's hugely advantageous for my children with additional support needs, because they have no issues reading the feedback anymore. And of course, pupils can share this learning with their parents and their families. So Melissa, hopefully the next part of my journey, I am so excited listening to you today, thinking, okay, I'm up leveling what I'm going to do next, that there's so much more that I can do. So yeah, this is just a wee beginning journey maybe for people listening to Melissa, thinking, no, I'd like to do that. This is where I started, and hopefully my journey will continue with that. So thank you. Okay.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Go ahead.
My name is Katrina Fossella, and I am a media specialist in South Florida here in the United States. And what I'm going to be talking about is how we give students choice and voice, and how that equates into motivation. So something that we use here in my district, it's this TIM observation model. And Jerome, if you don't mind dropping that in the chat for everybody. So it's a matrix that, yes, we love to use technology. We use it in our everyday life, but how are we using it? Why are we using it? Is it effective with our students? So to get towards the top of that integration matrix, it allows students to have choice in what they do. So what we do in the media center is students come in, we learn how to do proper research, and then students have to produce something for me. So, but before all of this, I show them how to use Sway, how to use PowerPoint. We're a Microsoft Showcase school, so Microsoft tools are really big at our school, and then I allow them to choose what they want. And more often than not, students want to want to showcase what they've done in Minecraft. So if we can go to the next slide, Sharon. So what I want everybody to leave with today is that I am a Minecraft novice, okay? I break blocks. I have no idea what I'm doing. I try my best. I really do. But my students are not novice. They know what they're doing. They love it. And when they have ownership and they're like, oh, Miss Fossella let me choose whatever I wanted to do to showcase my project. Okay. Like now it becomes, they're more invested in it. So right here, we have a couple of builds that they did, and they use book and quill. They use a blackboard. It's the same thing. Instead of putting it in a PowerPoint, now they're allowed to be more creative, create their build, but they're still putting that same amount of research into their project. Over on the left-hand side, I use Wakelet to then share their Minecraft world, because students are like, I love what they did. How can I get what they did? So we drop everything in a Wakelet, and then they can download and play in their friend's world. And then on the right-hand side, we use a learning management system called Canvas, and that's where students can share their Minecraft world with me, and I go ahead and give them feedback as to if they need to change something or what they need to do. Which leads me to my next slide. And my last slide is this great program now on Microsoft Learn. So they have a Minecraft Student Ambassador program that you can start in your school too. These group of ladies from the Georgia district, they have created this within Microsoft Learn. It's 8 modules, and you can start your own Minecraft club too. I feel that when students have after school clubs that they look forward to, and they need to keep their grades up in order to be in those clubs, it makes them motivated. Oh, I got to do well in school, because if not, I'm not going to be able to be part of my Minecraft club. And so here are some of my students in school. The 2nd graders are teaching the 1st graders how to use Minecraft. The students are becoming leaders. I mean, it's just so much learning is going on, so much leadership is going on, and they're having fun while they're doing it. So start today if you haven't with Minecraft.
Wow, that's quite something. And also that aspect that you touched upon about students becoming teachers, right? They are probably telling you how everything works and how to create all kinds of materials and so forth. I've tried to get to know Minecraft Education Edition several years ago, and I didn't know how to navigate, using the cursor, the keys on the keyboard. And my daughter tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Mom, you need to use this key and that key," and so forth. So yeah, I know that feeling. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Katrina. We have Jérôme next. Am I right?
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon or good evening or whatever time it is for you guys. Lovely to be here. So like everybody here, we're all massive fan of OneNote, aren't we? So here, OneNote is something I'm going to be talking about. What I'm very interested in is the audio feedback possibility that you have in OneNote, and I think that's great. In what way? It's great for not only for teachers, because it's really much easier to give some voice feedback to children. It's immediate, and the children can listen to it also later on. But it's also great for the children who've got maybe some learning difficulties to be listening. It's probably easier for them to listen to the feedback sometimes than to actually read it. And I think this is an option which is fantastic. So as you can see there, just that little button that you have here on top, just voice recording. It's super easy. You click on it, record yourself, it pops itself on the side. And you can see here on the slide that it just appears here. Obviously, who doesn't like to put a little Bitmoji into your marking? I think it's always fun to do that. And what I also like to do is put some sound effects this time around. This is just a demo, obviously, here. But I thought it would be a good idea to actually put a little sound, like a little clap, for example. So we're going to be clicking on this. There's going to be a crowd applauding them for the work. And I think that's a lot of motivation. I'm really happy about this type of things. It doesn't take you long. It's free. You can grab that on the internet, on some free websites. You pop it into your folders and you can have it coming up very, very quickly. If you don't mind going to the next slide, please. Thank you very much. I'm also a big fan of reading progress. I am a language teacher, and I know it works, obviously, if you teach English or whatever language you do, Arabic and Spanish, obviously. And I think it's a great tool for everybody. And I think the options that you have also there to give feedback in reading progress is pretty amazing. Obviously, you can type something in and say, well, maybe you have to work a little bit on this or that. But they've been super clever. Mike Thorson and the team are thought of using that little camera there, whereby you can just record yourself and put probably a more personal video and just speak to the children and tell them what they need to do. Another little touch for feedback is a little button that you can touch when you're on a return. Instead of doing the return button straight away, you can have a return for revision. And I think that's really good. The first time, that was the first trial, and I think it's really important. And how about you have another go? How about you correct your mistakes? And the second go will be probably counting instead of the first one. So we have a kind of a low stake first go, and the second one they can start correcting, getting that confidence going on, which is very important. And they can send the work back and with probably more enthusiasm and probably more driven about what they're doing, because they have that nice feedback. using reading progress. And going on to my last slide, using Reflect. So like Walberto has been talking about Reflect earlier on, and Melissa also, I think we're all fan of our Reflect in Teams too. Not only you can use it for well-being, I think it's obviously fantastic, but Reflect can be also used as a way to give an exit ticket about a lesson, for example. You just finished doing something. And how are you feeling about the material we've covered today? It will be a good way also at the end of the lesson. Maybe you haven't had time to speak to everybody. You didn't have time to be checking all the work, and maybe you missed out, and that happens. A few children during the end, if you want to check that they actually done a good job during the day, or they learned, or they're quite confident with what they've been learning. So this is a good way for you to check at the end of the lesson or at the end of the day if they've been happy with the teaching, with the learning, and with what happened in the classroom on the day. I think that's about me, and OneNote and a bit of Reflect and a bit of Teams, which I think is a fantastic combination.
Fantastic, fantastic, Jérôme. And I also like how you use Bitmoji in various poses and gestures.
Yes, I think it's always fun.
Yeah, I actually I do like glancing through other people's OneNote notebooks, and I always pick up something new that I hadn't thought of myself. And for example, what you just showed us, that you're fetching audio clips from the web and insert them into your OneNote notebooks. Why not? And why did I not think of that? That's just wonderful. So I would actually like to invite people in our audience to enable their video, enable their microphone. And if you want to say something about these presentations or share your thoughts about how you use feedback and motivation, then do as Deepak has just done, stick up your hand using the reactions feature in your Teams toolbar, and then we'll take turns in letting you speak. Hi, Deepak. Deepak is a former TweetMeet host. He was a host last month, right, Deepak? And this is a topic that is very close to heart for you. So go ahead. What do you want to say?
Good evening, everyone, and Assalamu alaikum for everyone who joined to Arabic. And my question especially for Katrina ma'am, which subject you choose best motivation and feedback from in Minecraft Education Edition?
Okay. So
yes,
I think the question is, what subject do I choose for the students to do? So in the library, we kind of focus on things during the month. So we'll have a Women's History Month. We'll have a Hispanic Heritage Month. So I give them the topic that we're covering for the month. And then the students, I give them a list of people that they can choose from to research. So they choose their partners. They choose who they want to do research on. They choose how they want to build in Minecraft. So I'm kind of giving them the topic, but they're choosing everything else. And then when it comes to the Minecraft Club, we're kind of just starting with the basics, showing younger students how to do the build. And then what they love to do is all join the same world. So I don't know if you had that option, everybody's joining the same world. That teaches good digital citizenship because they all want to put TNT on each other's homes. No, we're not doing that. So in the classroom, I give them a topic, but in the Minecraft Club, it's more free flow. But Minecraft goes for every subject, and they have builds already there. So it's really great.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
There's another $1 going into the savings bank. I would love to hear from our new guests, from the new people who are joining us today. Is there anyone who is feeling really courageous and want to come up mute and say something? You can even speak in Arabic, and we'll have one of our hosts translating whatever it is that you want to say. So please tell us what brings you here and what do you, well, how does the topic of feedback and motivation resonate with you? Preti is here. Hi, Preti. Do you want to say something? Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And yes, I am very excited whenever I use Teams, and we often use Teams like we are going into our, summer break, but I take senior classes. So how do we meet our students? So we meet them on the Teams. So it's always a joy using Teams portal with our students, and Minecraft is a win-win position for our school. Like Katrina just said that we use it for different subjects. Similarly, we also use it. We do not, just specifically the IT teachers are using it, but there are other teachers also using Minecraft. And it's a beautiful way where the children can express themselves and they're put on their, thinking caps, and they do wonders. They do real good things, undoubtedly. But I personally use very in daily in and out. I use OneNote, I use class notebooks, and I'm really fond of it. And if I have to show some videos to my students, I can really put them into my Teams portal. I can attach it there as a tab, and my children can view it later also. So I really like that. And my PPTs are a hit. I add my links also to the PPTs and PowerPoint presentation. I'm using Microsoft to the hilt, and I'm happy. I'm happy to be a part of the community.
Wow, so nice, Preti. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. And Marjorie, just one confession, and I'm so sorry. I mean, I've been not able to be the host for the TweetMeets from the past 2 weeks. 2 months, but I would definitely look forward to the next one. I'm sure I'll be able to make up for it. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you, Preti. Thank you. Hi, Anne Ahmed. Welcome. Welcome. Would you like to say something?
Hi.
Do you have a video?
Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Okay,
Thank you. It's a very beneficial meeting. I really enjoyed it. And of course, all the educators have introduced something. I always use read in progress, but it was my first time to know that I can add a track or a soundtrack, a clap in OneNote. That was really good. And of course, I'm going to use it. I just want to add something that in read in progress, there is a new update that we can record a video and deliver our feedback to our students. So not only to write down our feedback, but also we can record a video for them. So I just wanted to add that. And of course, I use read in progress in my classes, and I think it's really beneficial too. But what I'm going to use is to use OneNote and to upload sounds and different audios. To give feedback for my students. Of course, also what I want to ask you, how can I use some other like Wakelet, for example? So how can we use it to give feedback for our students?
Okay, let's pass this question on to our hosts, even hosts who are not presenting today, but who are using Wakelet in your classes. So Heba or Laila, if you feel like answering, or maybe Samar or Dalia, if you want to take the microphone, then go ahead. Jérôme has some ideas. Go ahead, Jérôme.
It depends what you want to do. Again, you can use Flipgrid as a little video. You can put in Wakelet. So if you have a piece of work, you upload it into Wakelet, and you can do some feedback. If you can now, there's another app which is an extension called Mote. Also, but you can have it for free. It's not Microsoft, but it's an extension you can put also on Edge, and it actually works natively now into Wakelet. So it works absolute wonders. I would say one of these two are very, very good. You can even put a QR code in there they can scan and things like that. There's plenty of possibilities.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. We have several people who want to respond. So Let me see who was first. We can now see who was first. Katrina was first. Go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to add about Wakelet that they have student portfolios. That's an option you can use, turn on for your district. So what I've done before is students collaborate on one with that collaboration code. And I'm the owner of that collaboration code. So I see what students drop in. Now they have reactions. So I could give them thumbs up. I could also add my comments to Wakelet. So I can also see in real time what students are working on. Wakelet embeds beautifully in OneNote. So you could even make, just a tab in OneNote, drop that Wakelet, see students building in there, and then add your feedback in the OneNote with the Wakelet there. So there's a lot of possibilities, but I love how you're thinking for students to collaborate on Wakelet and then give them feedback there.
Awesome.
Okay,
Awesome, Katrina. Thank you. And Samar, what are your thoughts about using Wakelet?
Okay, first of all, let me thank you all for this fabulous meeting. The topic itself is really thrilling and exciting, and I love all your ideas. They are really brilliant. Wakelet, let me add something. I really love Wakelet and Flipgrid, and I always use them in my class. Something I'd love to add about Wakelet is that I use Wakelet to motivate my students because I use it like a competition. For choosing the best collection. For example, we did this for the best collection about idioms and for the world history, because I teach English and world history, and they started to make collections for the old or ancient empires, and they added many pieces of information, pictures, and finally I sent an email to Wakelet responsibles, and they sent my students who actually made the best collection. They rewarded them with student ambassador for Wakelet ambassadors, which was really very rewarding to them. And this was really a very nice experience. So I thought that this is somehow related to our topic today about motivation too.
Ah, yes. Oh, wonderful. What a nice story, Samar. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Lila is here and she wants to, wow, we have 4 people lined up to take turns. So let's see if we can allow everyone, because I also want to reserve some time for my little presentation about the OneNotes. But Lila, what a fantastic job you have done over the past days to so many Arabic-speaking people to join the TweetMeet. So thank you so much, Lila.
Thank you.
What would you like to say?
Yes. I want to talk about the amazing Flipgrid for the communicative skill that promote the students, which is one of the 21st century skill. The topic, the use of the Flipgrid, I will relate to motivation and also feedback. Since I worked with my students on a project based on the project learning, which is I called it a culture exchange project, and the students, they moved from just sending cards and papers by snail mail. Then we moved to a Flipgrid by uploading videos about their cultures. Every time they send about their Moroccan cities and places or food, special food, and we organized that according to the heritage and the cultures about traditional clothes, special foods in Morocco, cities, and so. And we did that with many other countries, from India, from Bangladesh, from other, also from the Arab world, but they used, of course, English. And the students who are able to communicate and make videos for them, film them themselves are good. But those who are shy a little bit, they I motivate them by using the techniques and the tools of the amazing Flipgrid, which is just the stickers, the flag, for example, of Morocco, typo, some words that they write in order to be inclusive and include all the students, motivate them to about that. And at the same time, this is a feedback for me as a teacher, since I see their mistakes, maybe in order to see if they, for example, write just that paragraph that because here the English is the second language, for example, they write in their introductory paragraph, you see their mistakes, and the students, they interact between each other using Flipgrid. And there are some students who use Wakelet at the same time by you putting that video in a portfolio in Wakelet, and they share it between each other and with me and with other students from other countries. Also, the last one is the GridPal, which is very interesting thing when they make a session, online session, and we meet together to discuss that via Microsoft Teams. This is my experience with Flipgrid and Wakelets concerning motivation and feedback for my students.
Ah, wonderful, Laila. Wow. I should have urged you to do this presentation during this webinar. You would have done so fine. Thank you so much. Okay, I want to give two more people a turn. That is Monica first, and then Katrina one more time to close off this part of the webinar, because after that I'd like to switch to my presentation about the TweetMeets. I promise you it won't take long, but I do need a couple of minutes to introduce the TweetMeets to everyone else. So Anissa, thank you for spotlighting the presenters, by the way. Hi Monica, so good to have you.
Hi, it will not take much time. Just wanted to say a few words going back to Wakelet, because one of the attendees asked about how you can motivate or how you can give feedback to your students using Wakelet. And of course, Jérôme mentioned recording a video using Flipgrid, which of course you can do, or much faster if you, for example, don't have too much time, or you want to do it quickly. There are reactions as well in Wakelet now, and you can simply use one of them. You can give a heart, you can give a thumbs up, you can give like a little bulb, like, you know, a wow moment. You can also ask, you can also invite classmates to share their feedback, or to, for example, give a reaction to what the others are doing in the class. So it's very fast, like on the spot. You can simply give reactions to everyone, and, for example, select one item of their work which you, for example, enjoyed most, and that's my idea. And I mean, maybe not my idea, but something that I wanted also to point out. Thank you.
Awesome, Monica, and thank you, by the way, for being a host with us this month, so that everyone here knows that you are part of this month's host crew. Wonderful. Thank you, Monica. And by the way, Monica will be leading the Polish language track this month. And we're super excited about that, because it's been several years since we last had a Polish language track. Wonderful.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to it.
Good. Hi, Katrina. Do you want to close off this part of the webinar session, and then I'll take over after that? Thank you.
No, I just couldn't put my hand down. I'm good. I'm good. Sorry.
Okay, good. No, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. Okay, so let me share my screen with you one more time. So we are in this part of the presentation. You all know that the TweetMeet is this coming Tuesday, that our topic is feedback and motivation. You all know about that. Here are the 5 discussion questions lined up on a so-called question timings image. These images are actually all public for your usage. So if you want to, you can go and get those images from our public image collection for the TweetMeets. Anissa, do you have that link ready to the public image collection for the TweetMeets, so that everyone attending this webinar has access to it?
No.
We also make these images available in multiple time zones and in multiple languages. And if you cannot find the correct image with the correct time zone for your region, then just let us know and we'll create a custom one for you. Okay, what do you need to know about the TweetMeets? Yes, so the TweetMeets are global and multilingual, and that means that anyone can join them at a time that suits them best and in the language that suits them best. To illustrate this, we've created this animated GIF that shows how anyone can participate in the TweetMeets by quoting the question tweets and then answering in their respective language. So if you want to, you can participate in any Indian language, in French, in Russian, in, well, maybe Russian is a little bit delicate right now, but French, German, any language that you want to speak, Polish, of course. So that's about the language part. And I would like to show you what I have prepared in my browser. And that is, okay, what if you're new to the TweetMeets? What should you know about them? And that's why I create what we call TweetMeet threads, such as this one that I created at the end of last month. And it allows you to take a quick glance at what a TweetMeet is all about. So it starts off with a welcome message that you see right here, and a tweet, of course. Welcome to the TweetMeet. In this case, it was the TweetMeet about well-being and teaching and learning, and a prompt for everyone to introduce themselves. And what people then do, if they are experienced in participating in the TweetMeets, is they will click on the retweet button like this, and then select quote tweet. So I encourage all of you, if you've never done this type of practice, experiment with using the quote tweet feature. And how that works is that the original tweet then gets embedded into your tweet, and you can then type whatever comment you want to write. So I would probably say something like this: I'm Marjolein, and I'm based in the Netherlands, you know, and then I'll insert an image or something. So
TweetMeet friend card.
And I will yes, I will introduce myself using my TweetMeet friend card. If I would have that ready, I would drag that image into this tweet, but you get the idea. If you've never seen a TweetMeet friend card, then let me search for one. Discard this one. I can do this real quick. TweetMeet friend card. So here's what my latest TweetMeet friend card looks like. I create a new one every month, and I encourage you to do the same. I create this TweetMeet friend card using a PowerPoint template that you can access using this link. We also have this same PowerPoint template in Arabic and in Spanish. And if we need to create it in other languages, then by all means, let us know. But of course, we only do that if we know for sure that there are enough people who want to use it. So this card you can create in PowerPoint using our template and then export it as a PNG file that you can then attach to your tweets. We really love making our tweets look good by putting the hashtags at the bottom of our tweets, for the most part, separated by an empty line to make it easier for others to get the gist of what we're talking about, and also to make sure that our tweets just look good. So we look for the correct spelling, for a nice link to go with our tweets. So that's what the structure of a tweet is about. If you want to know more about this, we actually have an in-depth let me do this, an in-depth sway about this topic, and that is called The Anatomy of the Perfect Tweet. If you've never seen this sway, it contains all my tips of how you can get started with making your tweets look better. So if you've done the first steps in joining Twitter, creating your profile, uploading your Twitter header photo and so forth, and you're ready for the next step, then The Anatomy of the Perfect Tweet is for you. If you're just getting started with the TweetMeets and you've never joined, then don't be afraid. Just start by listening, start by watching what other people are doing, and make sure that you take a look at what we call the TweetMeet Starter Guide. This is the design mode. Okay, there it is. The TweetMeet Starter Guide is also a sway And that takes you through really the basics of what a TweetMeet is all about. That we have 5 discussion questions that were sponsored by Microsoft, how you can participate, where you can find the details on the education blog on Microsoft Tech Community, where you can get all our images and so forth, what the best tips are, what quote tweets are all about, and so forth. You see? So that's what our sways are about. By the way, here's the link again to our public image collection. I encourage you to go and check it out and use all of our images as much as you want. The other thing I would like to show you, if Anita agrees that we're ready, ready for the next links, and that is, I would like to show you that we have a resource collection specifically about feedback and motivation in what we refer to the frequent EDU links spreadsheet for Microsoft educators. Anissa, can you share the link to the frequent EDU links spreadsheet in the chat, please? So this is a spreadsheet that Anissa and I have been building over the past 2 years, I'd say, since I joined another team at Microsoft and really needed lots of links to make sure that all educators suddenly jumping to Microsoft for their remote teaching and learning. And so we've collected over 1,300 now links categorized into 80 different sheets. And you're most welcome to check this out. This is a specific sheet that is about feedback and motivation. But as you can probably guess, we also have a sheet that takes you to the very first getting started with Microsoft Education, or if you want to know something about what showcase schools are all about, you can also open that sheet. And all of these links are clickable and you can paste them into your own documents if you want. This link is public and anyone can use this for free. It's with people who have seen this and have browsed through this. Most of them are totally amazed by it. Yes, Walberto, you can share this out as much as you like. So that's the frequent EDU links project that we continue to work on. As you saw, we just added the new feedback and motivation sheet, and we'll keep adding new sheets depending on what Microsoft is releasing. By the way, all of the links that you see in these sheets are created by Microsoft. There's only 1 or 2 links that I've included created by others because I really thought they were of very high quality and I couldn't leave them out, but for the most part, they are Microsoft only. So you may be wondering how we at Team TweetMeet stay informed of everything going on at Microsoft. Well, for that purpose, I created a news feed called the Daily Microsoft EdTech Newsfeed that I set up using a specific tool. It's called iKnowReader. We can talk about that another time. But what this newsfeed is all about is it shows you tweets, blog posts, videos, and other updates, podcasts, anything that we think is relevant to people who work with Microsoft tools in education. This is a somewhat more technical post, but let me scroll down to what else is here. So there is a tweet here from Microsoft Education, another tweet here from Microsoft. So this one was Minecraft Education. This is Microsoft Education. We always include the tweets by Mark Sparble, who's very much into social and emotional learning, tweets by Flipgrid, and of course, blog posts by Flipgrid and so forth. So we hope that this specific news feed is also of interest to you. We include roughly 60 to 70 different sources here. So it's quite something. Microsoft Teams, blog posts, and so forth. And then you can click on next 20 items. So that's the news radar. Then another thing you might be interested in is we really just launched a new email newsletter called the TweetMeet newsletter. And if you like, you can access this newsletter through the link. Anitza, did I share that link with you? It's TNL, so TweetMeet newsletter. TNL, and then you should be able to see it, and otherwise I can type it into the chat. This newsletter, you can browse it on the web, or you can subscribe to it using the subscribe button that you see right here, and then you can fill out a form and subscribe to it. And on that note, I would also like to mention our brand new TweetMeets community on Twitter. It's right here. If you click on this button here or open the link, let me see if I can get you the link real quick, because I just created this new link, brand new. So the TweetMeets community is a new place on Twitter where we share things that we don't necessarily also post on our TweetMeet account on Twitter, or we posted a little bit earlier. And we're just building up this community. We have 58 members now. You're most welcome to join and post things there that are related to the TweetMeets or that are related to feedback and motivation for this month and so forth. And to invite everyone to introduce themselves, I've recorded my own video here. It's taking me, I think, 79 takes or so before I was satisfied with the result. So I hope you will open this link, join our community, and then introduce yourselves to the rest of the community. So that is what I wanted to show you. This, by the way, this was the link that I should have shared, mode.com, not mode HQ. Probably mode HQ is their Twitter handle and not their web address, but at least you have it here. I would like to stop sharing now and see if there's anyone who has any questions or comments or wants to say something. Sharon says some nice words. Thank you so much. Yes, really appreciate it. Preti has subscribed to the newsletter yesterday. Thank you, Preti. We'll check if we received your submission. We're still getting to know this whole MailChimp platform that we're using for this and discovering all kinds of things. So really fun. So what else? Anyone else who wants to say something or comment? And otherwise, oh, there's some comments. Here's the link to create an account. Emote says, Walberto, very good. Any questions, suggestions, thoughts? Walberto, do you have more to share? No? Okay. Well, then I'd like to thank all of you for being with us today. It's been a fantastic webinar, I must say, not just because of the one.
I want to thank you, everyone here, the host.
Thank you so much, Walberto. Thank you to all hosts for presenting today and for all of our attendees for being with us and for participating so actively in the conversations and coming off mute. And so we look forward, I need to sneeze. We look forward to seeing you on Tuesday at the TweetMeet. We hope you will enjoy the experience. Let us know how you feel and what you'd like to experience in the future, and looking forward to seeing you soon. All right. Thank you all so much.
God bless you, Marjolaine. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm closing the recording now.
Thank you so much.
Bye.